It was just long, but it's not a big one. I got it. I'm a big man. So the thing is with this point is like it's so much easier to run a show. I think you had that same experience with the neighborhood, almost run a show without being in the show. Yeah. So that's what we've kind of started doing is that we might bit part, but even this last show, even though we were the hosts of the show, we didn't do a whole lot. Like we haven't really been doing a lot of acting because it's too much work to do the writing, the scheduling, the directing, all that type of stuff. Well, we get directors, but a lot of it is our work that we have to do outside of it. So it's easier for us to just use this as our writing experience, and then whatever. We branch out in our own different ways. So I got my Megaphone show, I got other stuff where I can branch out and do the acting stuff. Yeah. Even though it's not like pure acting, it's still improv acting.
I know it is, and the Megaphone's been great lately.
And I'm happy about everything, but I was recently thinking, man, since Diffs moved away, I'm now Disposable Income Freak Show, which I guess might be in Chicago. It will be in New Orleans
at some point,
October 8th or something.
Isn't that Hell Yes Fest? Aren't we all going to be there?
That is Hell Yes Fest.
Yeah, you'll be there.
We'll be there. And so... the reason, anyways, I've wanted to get back in acting, and I've gotten contacted twice this week for things to act in. I was like, weird, good timing. Came out of nowhere.
That's great.
So I was like, cool.
Well, good. So you were thinking about how you want to get back into it, and
so
the world just brought it to you.
It was never that I wanted it. It just like seemed like at the time I was like, man, I haven't done acting in a while, and then just boom, boom, right in a row, and I was like, oh. The world knows this guy. They can see it in my eyes from a distance. Can we get back to having fun? I don't like talking about things seriously. I don't.
Like Sauron eyes.
Because it's too much.
Why?
It's too much. So this is also a personal thing for me, is I don't like being serious for too long, because I think that's just a bummer.
Yeah?
Yeah, right?
Why? Because your serious is going to be like somehow sad in some way? You didn't say anything sad.
No, that's not what it is. I just feel like, and this is everything I try to do all the time, is like any way you can like introduce more fun comedy stuff into anything, the better it is. Like I think every time, and even if it's a sad moment, I absolutely love sad moments to just make fun of later. Like that's kind of the whole point of it for me.
Yeah, I mean, weird. I feel like every funeral I ever went to growing up with my Irish family was how I developed my comedy ability.
So this was after I had started comedy, I believe, very early. It might have been when you were teaching, even me. I went back up for my great-grandmother's funeral, and she had died at 101. My dad goes up on stage, and he went up. Everybody else had done, like, very heartfelt things. It's not like my dad didn't do a heartfelt thing. I hope my stepmom's listening for this one. He went up on stage and did, like, solid 8 minutes of, like, great stand-up, and then walked off stage and then, like, sat down, and everybody was like, wow, we just had a great time. And I was like, oh, that's where it comes from. I've never seen him be funny like that, but then he walked on stage, and just through the sadness of life, he was able to, like, make all these people lose their shit. It was weird to me. I was like, wait a second. Nice. I'm just my dad? Fuck that.
You're different people, but you have similar strengths, because chromosomally. I don't think that's a word.
Chromosomally definitely is. I just don't know if it was accurately used there.
It's a fun noise to make with your mouth, either way.
I fucking love it.
Chromosomally.
Now, if you take the Z out of it, it gets interesting. Chromosomally?
I thought it was with an S.
It is, but you were doing the Z sound. Chromosomally.
Now it sounds like you're a
Somali pirate.
Chromosomal.
We were both doing.
Oh, you're like a genetic wine expert.
What if it was like an Italian sandwich? The chromosomally.
Chromosomal.
Hey,
Chromosomally.
Your grandmother, she makes the best chromosomally. It's the most delicious thing I've ever had.
It tastes like if you took the Jets and the team the Jets and you smashed them up the Giants' butthole and you baked it.
Go Jets!
And now you got 2 championship programs in one.
It's a vegetarian sub with cheese.
Right, like two men inside of each other baked.
Tomato.
It's whatever you want to call it. It's either
in there.
Vegetarians are essentially cannibalists. I've got no question they just went on the other side of the spectrum. Everything's a circle. It starts on one side as normal people, and then you go towards either vegetarianism or cannibalism, and they meet on the other end. If you could see my fingers, it'd make a lot more sense. Don't forget it.
That was a lot of finger work for that joke, Kyle.
If you could see my fingers, it'd make a whole
The
lot
ladies
more sense.
love it. Finger play.
Oh, God.
You can cut it. You can cut that if you need to.
No, why would I cut that?
I don't know.
That's the fucking gem right there.
That's the gem. Can you somehow make the audio file of that the picture of this episode?
Just like the wavelengths.
Just the wavelengths. It's nothing.
Yes, I actually
As
can.
I say, the fingers do the job. I don't remember what I said.
So, hey, speaking of which, do you have Etch-a-Sketch brain? Meaning, like, when you get off an improv scene, you, like, totally forget it?
So, I listened to you guys' podcast from Kevin McDonald, but I've also listened to Nathan and someone else. Don't remember anymore. So I know it a little.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
And now that I'm at a job where I can listen to more podcasts, I will probably get through the backlog. Anyways, point is,
awesome.
I heard this, so I thought about it myself already today.
Good.
And I don't remember scenes afterwards usually. I very rarely. Sometimes I'll make callbacks and I don't really remember the scene. I just make the callback.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird now because when you do the Megaphone show enough, I think you start just like doing the Megaphone show without having to think about it. Mm-hmm. So you'll make those callbacks later in the show, and then it's like I don't remember any of those scenes, but I remember the callbacks from those scenes. Mm-hmm. But after the show, I don't know. I might remember a few choice scenes if someone complimented me after, but that's only if they remind me right after. It's like when you wake up from a dream, and then if you think about that dream right after it, you'll remember it. But if not, you'll be like, I had a dream, but no idea. Thank God Martin Luther King remembered his dream.
Yeah, that was a much less popular speech.
Because it would have never happened if he didn't wake up and think about his own dream.
I had a dream.
I had a dream.
Hold
Oh,
on.
fuck.
Wait, hold on. There was a car.
No.
I was in a car and I was...
Oh, man.
I was part bird.
I think I flew.
Part bird.
I felt like I flew.
But I was in a car. So... It probably not.
It like was
You can
my
cut
car,
this
but
out.
it wasn't my car. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kelly.
Yeah.
What for what?
Oh.
I never remember my dreams. The other night, I woke up legitimately more tired than when I'd fallen asleep, and I just felt like I'd lived a whole nother life. It's like I felt like when I went to sleep, I like was just inputted to another human being, had lived their hellacious day, and then woke up back in my own. And it was like, no, listen, we needed to compartmentalize. There's not enough souls actually to go around. So while you sleep, you become someone else. That person is a crazy insomniac, but it's okay. They get work done a lot while you're asleep, and it's like, fuck.
That's happened to me, but I mean, in the sense of I've gone to sleep and I thought that I've woken up before, and I've gone to my closet, picked out outfits, like gotten dressed for the day, drove to work, and then I wake up and I'm like, no, I did all of that already. Like I just did all of that.
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
It happens probably like once a month where I'm like, I did that day already. What the fuck is happening? I hate it.
I used to dream the printing shop that I worked at. I would dream a full day of working there and fucking wake up and have to live it. This is rough.
Oh, yeah, I'll go. So it's going to make so much sense when I say this, but the only dreams I remember are the ones where I die in them.
Oh.
So unless I see myself die, I generally don't remember them. There's a few, but the few times that I haven't died, it's just because I finally got off heroin abuse. Like some of them are weird, like long. Like instead of going to college at Kansas, I went at Indianapolis and like at Indiana, or so I guess it's Bloomington. So I went to Bloomington and then picked up heroinism and just lived on the streets. But then I lived through it.
Wait, is it called heroinism when you're addicted to heroin, or like?
Yeah, no, I was fucking a lot of female heroes.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say.
Heroinism. And
I'm a heroinist. I'm actually only into female heroes.
Like Spider-Man comes to save somebody. Sorry, I'm a heroinist. You can just put me down and let me fall.
I
think
say
Supergirl's
myself, actually.
Yeah.
Brave was a turning point for me.
What?
Brave
As all of us.
was a turning
The
point for
Pixar
me.
film, the classic.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know the young child who's a girl and she's a heroine?
And then
Oh,
And then her family
That changed
turns
my
into
life.
bears that are hooked on heroin.
great. So what happens in your heroin addict dreams?
Not a lot.
Do you
I just
die
like,
of heroin?
Do you
no,
play
that was
jazz?
the one where I didn't die. I
Oh.
did not like jazz. But my friend would come up to me, sit down next to me, and leave. It didn't make sense. There was just like a handful of stories of me like walking through places and then just being like, I'm on heroin right now. And I'd wake up in my dream with a heroin needle in my arm, and I was like, wow, this is weird. And then I would just go back to doing heroin. So I was doing heroin in my dream, but I was just sleeping inside my dream, inside of my dream.
Well, that's what happens when you do heroin. There's a lot of sleeping.
Exactly. So I think my brain knows what it's doing.
I wonder if you were a heroin addict in another life. Do you believe in that? Does anyone believe in that?
No, I don't believe in other lives.
Well, if it was another life, then it would probably be
Do
like
I believe
opium.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, also, I'm just thinking heroin was something that could have killed you like 88.
Wait.
I was born in 89, so if that happened, it would make a lot of sense.
What was the?
Yeah, definitely.
Was there a time escalation to the dream? Was it like every time you came to, it's like 10 years later, and you're still like, oh, I'm doing heroin now, and
Pretty much. I
my
woke up.
daughter's in a.
Pretty much what happened was I woke up, and it was the first time, and I'm like, oh, I got heroin. Well, I guess I'm addicted. So it was just me walking around town asking people for money and then just doing more heroin. So it didn't like escalate time. I just like woke up as a heroin addict.
Okay. So
Wow.
the nightmare is like sort of like the mundane existence. That
Here's the
is
thing.
doing
I just
heroin.
woke up normal to that one. I wasn't frightened or anything. I was like, I'm having a great time.
Really glad I'm not on here.
Did you want to share any of your scarier ones that you remember where you do die?
Yeah, so I got one. This one's really good. This is my favorite one that I had. There's a handful of them. A lot of them are mainly like me falling out of an airplane or me like drowning in water or whatever. It's like that wake up where you go, phew, and you like wake up that way. That's most of them. Now, I almost was killed by a serial killer with an axe, and that was probably hours of dreaming that happened into that one. That was a very long one, but that's not that good. The other one was I got away. This one's a combo dream, and it's going to include people we know in it, which is very fun. So, this one... So I wake up, and it's like multiple things. So we're like running away from something. And I don't know who's in this group with us, but we're running away, and we don't know what it is. And this is for a while. And we keep going through these woods and woods and woods, and then we get away, but we've lost someone, and we don't remember who it was. And we walk back in, and we're all safe. So this is how it opens up, is this very long running scene of being scared. So I guess my heartbeat is racing. Sometimes I get weird heart attack thingies when I sleep. So this must have been one of them. And then, yeah, and
Like,
I go.
you think you're having a heart attack?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's-
So I went into my house, and I thought we were safe, and I turned on the TV, and then I turn it on, and the TV screen's like playing news, and the news plays one of our friends' face on the screen, and they're like, this person was horribly murdered, and and it was so painful the way they murdered her. She didn't die, but she stabbed her own eyes out to like not see herself feel the pain.
Okay.
This is what it was. I guess we say the name, it doesn't matter. It was just one thing, but it was Lisa Friedrich. And
Who
it was
got
like, it
murdered?
like fucking shocked me into my system where I woke up a minute and then I went back to sleep. And then what it turns out is I guess I was running from zombies in that first one, because when I came back to sleep, I was running again, but this time all my friends are gone. It's just me alone, and like the trees had leaves on them before, now they don't. Like, it's like my brain like jumped forward in time or something, and so I was running and running and running, and I finally get away, and I'm safe, and I find this like little like scientific lab area, and I climb down to the bottom of it, and there's just a big storage of babies. There's just like a lot of babies in there to repopulate the earth, almost, is what it's for when you walk in there. So I think I'm safe, right? Because I'm in a place where they're trying to store babies to repopulate the earth, and I fall asleep in there, and I wake up, and there's no babies.
Wait, it's just a big hole? Like,
It's a big, like a bunch of layers of babies.
And they're just sitting there being unattended. This is
Just being unattended. No, maybe they were like kind of corded up
like a
or
Norse,
whatever.
oh, okay. Kind of like
Yeah,
in
they
the
had their
Matrix.
plug-in still in.
Like an amniotic thing or something.
Are they in like
In vitro?
Like, no, are they like in little like bassinets?
Yes.
Or are they? Oh, okay.
But it's like a bit. It's like one
Like
big
laying
bassinet.
in a pile.
Yes, they're not on a pile. They have their separate little spots, and they may have things connected to their backs or whatever. Again, I didn't research it because I was just happy to be in a nice, safe place with babies.
Babies.
And now I can sleep, and I wake up, and there's no babies, and it's black because it used to be white, and now it's black. It's dark. I can't see anything, and I just hear this thing come up, and it's all the babies have formed into one zombie monster. and they're climbing across, but because it's too big, there's too many babies in this baby monster, it can't get through the wall. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding? And that's when I woke up.
Okay, now wait. Now, are they all like, okay, is it like a Tetsuo and Akira kind of thing, where they've all become this one lump of flesh, or are they all working in accordance with each other?
No,
like in
no.
World
Lump
War